Alright, I'm doing a little more work on the 85 Ramcharger. So I finally got all my running issues, or most of my running issues, fixed. Kind of cleaned up some of the wiring and everything for now. And the problem I have is my steering box just dumps fluid out. I can put it in there, and I've tried the Lucas thing, and it still just dumps it out. So I got my kit. Look down there at it. Got my kit. I'm going to pull this out and try my hand at rebuilding it and see how that goes first, and see if I can get it to seal up. It's leaking around the pitman arm, so we'll see how all that works. So also got my wheel spacers in and got the wheels on. So that's not the tire size I'm going to go with, but got the wheels on it on the front anyway, and looks pretty sharp. I just need to figure out me some sort of center cap I want to run with it, and go from there. So the tree that hit the Mustang actually hit this too. Didn't do a whole lot of damage. A little bit of damage on the roof, and I guess the biggest damage over here, it bent the antenna down. So I'll have to get that fender off and get that fixed. So anyways, that's about where I'm at on this project. We're going to see how this steering box removal is, and I'll kind of document that. It should be pretty straightforward. I think Dodge and GM both use the same one, so there should be some pretty good videos on there. And I think I found one, and I'll put it up in a card on my video of this, of someone who does a really good how-to on rebuilding these boxes. That's what I'll be using for the most part. Alright, I got the 85 Ramcharger jacked up and on jack stands. One of the things that you want to do as soon as you get a vehicle jacked up on jack stands, do what people call a wiggle test. Make sure it's good and sturdy and there's nothing flopping around on it. Okay, just got my wheel adapters in from Performance Wheel Adapters. This is going on the 85 Ramcharger, and what I got was the 85 Ramcharger is 5.5 bolt pattern, and the wheels I got from the junkyard were the 5-on-135. So this looks like a pretty good piece. It's billet, it's not a cast piece, and that's one thing I was looking for. And it's made in the USA, and they're pretty reasonable priced. So this is their 1.5" model. I don't know if we can zoom in, and can't get the light on it, but it looks like they just had some round stock and they chucked it up. Well, they bandsawed it, bandsawed it to width here roughly, and then chucked it up in a lathe, and then they come through and lathed it to spec there. I don't know if they use a CNC or just a hand lathe. They could have a program that's pretty easy to do and just bust out all kinds of these with just a programming change with the same basic stock. So this did fit a nice big center area, so it definitely cleared that big Dodge setup in the middle there. So looking pretty good. They got chamfers on it. They come with the studs in there and lug nuts. I think I paid something like $75 shipped for 2 of them, and that's what I needed right now. So that'll get me going and get those sweet rims on the Ramcharger. Alright, so I'm tearing into this Ramcharger here. I had to do a wheel spacer to put those cool wheels I got from the junkyard. It adapts it and also spaces it out right. So looking at this, it's definitely an 85. It's an old vehicle, is what I mean by that. You can see the boot here is just all broken and cracked. The brake hose is cracked on there. Pretty much everything in here just needs to be replaced. The caliper I might just clean up and make sure it's looped and everything, but this rotor here, you can see my handprint up. I do the anti-seize on the lug studs, and I was taking those off and got it on there. But this rotor it's well beyond its service limit. Upper control arm bushings. So while I'm over here wanting to attack the steering box, I may go ahead and do a few more things while I got it up here in the shade where I want it. Got a strut rod bushing I'm going to put in there. So I think there's 3 bolts, 3 maybe 4 bolts that holds this thing on. I'll need to get the steering sector off and those 2 lines off there, and then figure out what I'm going to do with this. I might just pop it off the pitman arm there and just take the whole thing off as an assembly, and then deal with that big nut there as necessary. I already got the steering sector out. That did come off. It had a roll pin in there that was a little boogered over the years, so I'd pound that out, and I'll need to replace that one. Anyways, here it is. Here's the steering sector. Anyways, we got instructions with the I'm using the Gates kit that I got, so hopefully it's all the right stuff. We got the instructions on there, and a sweat drop because it's July in the south, and that's just what you're going to do if you're outside. So I got a parts breakdown, which helps out a lot, and the directions, and like I said before, the YouTube video. Got my components in here. What was leaking was this one right here was leaking, but I'll probably put as much of it in as I feel comfortable doing, and then clean everything up, probably paint it or something. So it actually wasn't real loose or anything, it just, the seals dry up. There's a preload on that. On my other truck, the seal back behind there was what started leaking. Actually, 2 trucks that leaked, so I'll definitely replace that one. Anything external like that. Already got the steering box cleaned up of all the big gunk off of it. So before I start, I want to get all the big stuff off. That way it don't fall into the pump and everything. So that's the last thing I need, is go through and rebuild and have a bunch of crud inside of it. So what I'm going to do is, once I get it rebuilt, I'm going to paint it. But while I'm painting that, I want to come in here and clean my inner fender weld up. You can see the rust spots in there. And my whole rocker panel all the way down also needs to be painted, just to keep it from rotting out, basically. So I'll probably come down here and clean all this up, scuff it up to probably this line here is a good line, right in there, that trim line down. Just scuff it up real good, get all the rust off of it, prime it, and then do my satin black on it. And unlike Jim, I'll probably go ahead and put the hardener in there. Jim, I wanted to have that fade, a certain fade level to it, but this is going to need the extra protection of the hardener on the paint. So I'll probably tape off this the frame and all the engine stuff back in there, and then spray all this. And then the next go around, I'll probably do my control arms. I'm kind of gandering at this van control arm, which has a deeper pocket here versus the one that sits flat on the Dodge truck. So that's about a 2-inch lowering control arm, and now I've got to find lowering springs for the Dodge trucks. Okay, I ripped the sound out of here because I didn't think y'all wanted to hear my hot dog compressor running and the impact going. So I'm putting a little bit of WD-40 on the nut there, so it'll come off a little easier. I already hammered on a little bit, and I decided to put that on. One thing I'm doing is I'm watching the threads and making sure the threads are turning as I'm impacting it, and it actually is pulling it off. So this is kind of the start of the disassembly, and I'll do that next time. I'll go through all the disassembly process.